You guys see me lose in the ring. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about times I felt in training, times I felt outside of the gym. I know what it feel like not to live discipline. I know what it feel like to not do the right thing.
Right, we are here in sunny, rainy, cold, miserable Manchester, but
Yeah.
I'm happy to be joined by Malik, the King Scott.
Yes.
Welcome back.
How you doing?
All the better for seeing you. Malik,
Yes.
what a relationship that is blossoming between the coach and the fighter.
Yes.
A relationship I was nervous about.
Yes.
At least I was honest. We
Yes,
had
absolutely.
that conversation about
Yep.
it.
And I respect you for that, October. That you didn't do that behind the curtain. You came directly to me, expressed your feelings, and you said, I'm excited about it, but I have my questions. And then, like a good human, after the fight, you came to me and said, thumbs up. After the next one, we talked again. And to me, that's how it should go. So, way to show humility in October. I appreciate that.
Well, what I appreciate is the fact that you two are growing to be a very good team. We see fighters and everyone remembers when they're champions, but nobody really remembers the graft that it took to get them there.
Yes.
Maybe I'm being a little bit too excited or looking way too far in the future, but I see that relationship blossoming to where Ezra could be potentially a world champion.
Yes.
With you two together. The journey with you two, how it started, where it's going,
Yeah.
and where it's going to end up.
Yes, it's like I always say, like Ezra is like a coach's dream. He buy into the system of preparation. He's always looking for the answers for when things may not go right, and he's a sponge for knowledge. And outside the ring, he's just a very impressive, well-structured, extremely disciplined young man. Someone that I always show respect, because all the young man do is really show me respect. And how do he do that? He come in that gym, he do what I say, do what I ask. He's a grown man. I don't want to, sound like he's a boy, but there's never no rebuttals. All he wants is the information. I give him the information. He apply it. There's times we have so many rough days, and there's sometimes we have good days. But I always tell Ezra, I prefer the rough days. I prefer us getting through uncomfortable moments together. I prefer him always getting through tough times, training on a loaded body, dealing with trials and tribulations that come with boxing on the outside of the ring, because that right there is the character. And I must say, if I'm gonna be honest, since training him, all I have seen was incredible character. Him being a good fighter is the bonus, but his character, I believe, is what makes him a good fighter, and what, in my opinion, is going to make him a great fighter someday. His character.
You mentioned character, but I think you two rub off on each other in a good way.
Yes.
How has he developed your character as a trainer? What has he taught you?
That's a very good question. Between him and my wife, structure, being more structured, being more disciplined, and I think that's something that should be highlighted. I think there's a lot of great trainers that get a lot of great students, and I think the great students sometimes make the great trainer, sometimes a better person, sometimes a better coach, sometimes give them insights on things. And I think that comes with, you can't be militant with a grown man. Like, Ezra's 30, 31 years old. So I'm not militant with him. I'm very stern when I want him to do things for us to get done to make him better. But I would say it's just so many things. I watch how the decisions he make when the company he chooses to keep, the things he say no to, the things he's not interested in. Believe it or not, those things inspire me and motivate me. Not that I'm doing wrong things, but inspired me to say, this is what I want to train. This is what I'm impressed with. And it helps me to actually see it more in other individuals that make me want to train them, because I look at it like training Ezra. He set the bar so high of my expectation when it comes to fighters. And I know it's not realistic because all fighters are different, but being disciplined is so important, so important. And if you ask me, his best attribute, besides his belief in God, I would say his discipline. He's well-structured young man. He's willing to push himself past the limits, and the limits that he's not willing to push himself, I'm pushing him past those limits. So it's a good thing thus far, and I hope to continue to be a good thing, because I believe in this young man, and I can't wait for you guys to just watch him Saturday. I got very good feelings about him. Just watch him Saturday against another good fighter, Willie Hutchinson, because Willie is no joke. He can fight, but he always can fight. Like, he was a good amateur, but he had all these great attributes when he fought Buatsi. He had all these great attributes when he fought the kid that knocked him out in the second, whatever round that was. So he's lost to good fighters, and he's lost to fighters that, to me, in my opinion, to a fighter, to me, that wasn't that good when he got knocked out. So he's had his ups and downs and trials and tribulations in and out the ring as well. I think this is a great fight. It's just as potent as the main event, in my opinion. And the fans can expect to see, some good boxing, and they can expect to see from our part a professional performance, a young man that's going to show discipline, a young man that's going to show humility, and a young man that's doing everything in a professional way to do a demolition job.
When you look at the two fighters, and this is the third eye that we get from the coach, that we get from the trainer, the teacher, what do you see is the major difference between Willie Hutchinson and Ezra Taylor?
Well, I just think outside of the ring, I believe Willie Hutchinson has dealt with more demons outside the ring than, we'll say, Ezra has. And that's because Ezra lived his life in a totally different way than I believe Willie lived his life. I don't know how Hutchinson is in the gym. I know he trains hard, but I believe all these fighters on this card trains hard. It's not about just training hard. It's about, is you being disciplined. What I'm concerned with is your outside life. What are you doing when you're not in the gym? And that's what separates Ezra. When Ezra is not in the gym, he's recovering. When Ezra is not in the gym, he's shopping for all type of foods to see what's good to put in his body. When Ezra is not in the gym, he's watching film that I send him. When Ezra is not in the gym, the character is still there. I'm not sure these other guys that deal with all these other demons are doing what Ezra is doing. You know what I mean? When he's out the gym. And the life outside the gym, that's what matters to most. All these guys is training hard. Everybody is disciplined in the gym. All these guys is pushing themselves to the next level. Like, you could watch on Instagram, you see everybody training hard, doing all type of different drills. The guy I train in the gym every day, what's the difference between him, in my opinion, and most fighters is when he leave the gym, he's still living the life like a real prize fighter, the professional way.
When you look at Ezra's journey, and obviously you're on that journey with him, how do you then separate that this is about Ezra as much as it is about you developing as a trainer?
Say it again, I'm sorry.
When you look at the development of Ezra, obviously you're on the journey with him, how do you differentiate between the success of Ezra and the success of you as a trainer? And I say that because there's a microscope on you guys as well.
Yes.
We watch you guys just as much as we watch the fighters.
Yes.
Usually you'll take the fall if the fighter does badly, or you'll get the credit if the fighter does well.
And that's the nature of the game. The better the fighter look, the more praise the trainer get, or the more praise the team get. I believe that I take great pleasure into falling short so many times in my career. And I'm not even talking about, you guys see me lose in the ring. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about times I failed in training, times I failed outside of the gym, mistakes that I've made, trials and tribulations I had to go through. I would so not change anything if I could have a fighter like Ezra and I can make sure he make none of those mistakes. It's so worth it. And I could look at it like my road and everything that I didn't do good and everything that I almost could have did, or my woulda, coulda, shouldas, I could put it into fighters. And a young man like Ezra, and make sure he don't make those mistakes, to make sure he stay focused, to make sure he keep his passion and prioritize, to make sure he continue to stay disciplined, because I know what it feel like not to live disciplined. I know what it feel like to not do the right thing. But when you got a student is what Ezra is. When you have a student like Ezra, you could really steer in the right direction when you come from not doing everything or having so many failure moments, not just in my career, but in life. I could literally steer a young man in a direction not to go or a direction to go. And that right there to me is what the journey is really about. It's for me to go through whatever it is I went through, trials and tribulations, to make sure the fighters that I train don't do that. The teachings that I didn't get, they get it. The drills that I didn't get, they get it. The knowledge that I didn't get, they get it. And they getting it from somebody that has been there and done that. That has fought at a high level in the amateurs, that have fought in a high level in the pros, that know what it feel like to win, that know what it feel like to lose, know what it feel like to draw, know what it feel like to have people boo you, know what it feel like to have people say you the next best. Like, it's just so much. I've dealt with so many aspects when it comes to this game that it feel good to actually be in a position where I'm not giving information from a gossip place. I'm not giving information or knowledge from a place of YouTube. I don't have a YouTube system. My system come from experience. My system come from great teachers. My system don't come from playing copycat. Like, you know what I mean? That's not what I do. I teach from a place of good growth. I teach from a place of great teachers. I teach from a place of most of all experience.
What I like about this, and the reason why I asked you that question, is because I see you like a father figure to him.
Yes.
I don't know him well enough to
Yes.
even question that.
Yes.
But what you've just explained there, and me as a parent, it's like you steer your children to do the right thing.
Absolutely.
So they don't make the mistakes that you make. And that more sounded like you've got that father, son, that older brother, younger brother kind of dynamic. And that's why I think your relationship works. And that's why I think he's improved.
Yes.
And that's why I do believe, as if this sounds biased, I really don't care. I do believe that he will improve because of that bond.
Yes.
He knows that if he looks in the corner, he's got you there.
Absolutely.
Behind him, and there's that trust. He might get hurt, he's coming back into the corner. He's got 100% listen to what you're saying, have that trust to go back out there and do what has been told of him, as well as using his own initiative in the ring.
Absolutely. And I think also read that, like, this is something that is just imperative in our teacher-student relationship. I don't care about Ezra just as a fighter. When it's long gone and over, he'll still always have a special place in my heart. He'll still be able to come to me for anything he need. He'll still be able to, it's just a bond that grew quick in very short time. And you have to keep in mind, like, I never will forget, people could say what they want and have questions about whatever, but Ezra coming to me as a young undefeated fighter, when I'm in a space where people is saying that I'm this and I'm that, and he chose me as his coach, that's something that I will always respect and love him for. Like, always, he'll always get the best out of me. I don't care what he do from the rest of his life. That space right there is such an important space to me, and that young man right there came and trained with me and came and learned from me and was hungry for information. And that's why I want you just watch him Saturday. Really, really watch him Saturday. Watch discipline, sacrifice, and character and know-how and craft get put on the line and get put on display.
Beautiful words there. I've got to ask, and the only reason why I'm asking is obviously your old fighter,
yes.
Deontay Wilder,
yes.
goes up against Derek Chisora very, very soon.
Yes.
Now, Deontay, you've, obviously had your fighter-coach relationship, friendship.
Yes.
What do you think about Wilder now, where he is, and what do you believe he's still trying to achieve?
Well, I'm going to tell you something. How I feel about that, Red, is that there's so many questions about Deontay right now, right? And I commend him because he's aware of the questions. Even to himself, he's aware. So what did he do? He went and chose an opponent, and he's fighting an opponent that can answer all of those questions that you have about yourself. Whatever it is you have in you, Derek Chisora energy is going to let you know if you have it in you. It's a black and white fight to me. I keep saying it. It's a shit or get off the pot type of fight to me. I believe in Deontay, and I believe he can do it. The fact is, if the equalizer still exists and he hits Chisora with it, he going to sleep. But if it don't exist, then Chisora can make it a long night for him like he can with anybody. It's just so many ways that you could think the fight can go, but it's really only one or two ways it can go. Can you knock him out and show people you still are who they believe you to be or believe that you was, or is Derek Chisora going to give you a long night?
Who do you believe who do you believe that he still is? I've got them trying to cut down my time. So who do you believe that Deontay Wilder is right now as a fighter?
I believe he's one of the most dangerous heavyweights in the world right now. And I believe if you don't think that, I think that makes him more dangerous. The thing that you can't do is get caught up in the thing of, well, can he still, if you're fighting him? Well, I wonder if he can still punch. Well, if you're wondering and you end up feeling something you never felt before, then you may go to sleep. So, I mean, it's no secret. He hasn't looked that good like in his last couple fights. He haven't had good outings, but his last fight, to me, he showed improvement. Him and Don House is doing some good stuff together. They're doing some good work. Don House is a complete coach. He's a well-experienced coach, had so many world champions, worked with UFC fighters, worked with world champions. He actually coached against Deontay before. So he has everything that he needs to have a great performance against a great opponent. So I'm looking forward to it.
Listen, I could talk to you all day, as you know, but I've got to let you go. Listen,
Yes,
all
yes,
the
yes.
best.
Guys,
and
ready.
I shall see you on Fight Night.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Malik, the King Scott.